Coca-Cola clock above the mixing board says 11:47 p.m. when I first hear the screaming outside. Not unusual for a Saturday night in Keller's Ridge. There's a bar 3 blocks down, the Rusty Nail, and Chad Burgess gets drunk every weekend and yells at his girlfriend in the parking lot. Been happening since high school. I should know, I dated Tammy junior year before Chad got his claws in her. I'm supposed to cue up the next track. Got a request for Devil Went Down to Georgia from somebody calling themselves Nighthawk72, but my hand's hovering over the board because that screaming's got a different quality to it. Higher, more desperate, the kind of sound that makes your stomach twist up even when you're trying to ignore it. This is WKLR 104.3 FM, your voice in the valley. I say into the mic, keeping my voice smooth even though my palms are starting to sweat. 23 years I've been doing this show, ever since I dropped out of community college because Dad needed help at the station. 23 years of the graveyard shift, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., playing classic rock and taking calls from insomniacs and truckers passing through on Route 19. That was Lynyrd Skynyrd with Free Bird. And coming up we've got Charlie Daniels for Nighthawk72, Wherever You Are Out There Tonight. The screaming stops, then starts again, closer this time. I lean back in the office chair, the same one Dad used, with the left armrest held on by duct tape and electrical wire, and squint out the window. The broadcast booth's on the second floor of what used to be McKinney's hardware store, back before the factory closed in '98. Now it's just us, the station, surrounded by empty storefronts with for lease signs that have been up so long the ink's faded to gray. Streets empty, sodium lights casting that sick orange glow over the cracked asphalt. My truck's parked right below, the blue Ford F-150 with the rusted wheel well I keep meaning to fix. Been meaning to for 3 years now, ever since. The phone lines light up, all 6 of them simultaneously. That never happens. I mean, sometimes I get 2 calls at once during the request hour, but 6? I grab the first line. WKLR, you're on with Dale. Jesus Christ, Dale, they're in my house. It's Mrs. Kowalski from Pine Street, her voice coming in ragged gasps. They broke through the back door and Jerry. Oh God, Jerry's not moving in theirs. The line goes dead, just pure static. I punch the second line. Hello. More static, but underneath it I can hear breathing. Heavy. Bit. Then a sound like someone chewing. Third line. Fourth line. Fifth line. Static. Disconnected screaming. That same wet chewing sound. The 6th line's ringing, but I don't want to answer it. My hand's shaking, actually shaking, which is stupid because I'm Dale Pritchard. I've been broadcasting through thunderstorms that knocked out power to half the county. I don't shake. But I pick it up anyway. Dale. It's my brother Ethan's voice, tight and scared. Dale, you still at the station? Where else would I be? I try to laugh, but it comes out wrong. It's Saturday night. Same as always. Listen to me. Lock the doors. All of them. Don't let anyone in. Don't go outside. Don't. He breaks off, and I hear something in the background. Sirens. More screaming. I'm at the hospital. Emergency room. We've got 40 people in here and they're all... His voice drops to a whisper. They're not sick, Dale. They're changing. Changing into what? I don't know. They're attacking people. Biting. I saw Randy Fisher take a chunk out of his own wife's neck and she's just standing there laughing while the blood's... He stops. Takes a breath. I'm coming to get you. Stay there. Stay inside. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Ethan. 20 minutes, Dale. Please. The line goes dead. I sit there staring at the phone board, watching the lights blink out one by one. The Coca-Cola clock ticks over to 11:53. Charlie Daniels is still playing, that fiddle solo climbing higher and higher, and I should say something, should give the weather report or read the community announcements about the bake sale at First Baptist, but my mouth won't work right. Ethan wouldn't lie to me. He's the responsible one, The one who went to medical school while I stayed here playing the same 20 songs for the same 100 people every night. He's the one who actually got out, came back with a wife and a degree and a nice house up on Ridgecrest Drive with the good view. He doesn't panic. Doesn't call me unless it's important, hasn't called me at the station in probably 5 years. Not since Mom died and we had to decide about the funeral arrangements. The music stops. Dead air. My worst nightmare, the thing that'll get your broadcast license pulled faster than anything. But I can't move. Can't think. Just sitting here listening to the silence hiss through the speakers. Then the emergency broadcast system kicks in. That god-awful tone that drills straight into your skull, followed by the computerized voice. This is a test of the emergency broadcast system. This is only a test. Except it's not. Because at the bottom of the screen, in the crawl text that's supposed to be empty during tests, it says, "Shelter in place. Avoid contact with affected individuals. Await further instructions." The screaming outside starts again. Closer. Right below my window now, and when I finally make myself look down, I see Billy Carpenter. Works at the Speedway, always tips heavy when I fill up the tank. Running down Main Street with his shirt torn half off. 3 people are chasing him. I recognize one of them. It's Tammy. Chad's Tammy, except her face is wrong. Stretched too wide. And her hands. Jesus Christ, her hands look broken. Bent back at angles that shouldn't be possible. I grab the mic, don't even think about it. Just grab it and start talking because that's what I do. That's what I've always done. Talk to fill the silence and make people feel less alone in the dark. "This is Dale Pritchard at WKLR," I say, and my voice only shakes a little. "If you're listening, if you can hear me, lock your doors. Board up your windows. Something's happening in town. Something bad. And I stop. Take a breath. I'm staying on the air. As long as the power holds, as long as I can, I'm staying here. You're not alone. I'm with you." I cue up another song. Doesn't matter which one, just need sound to fill the air. And reach under the desk for the Remington 870 Dad kept for emergencies. I've never fired it. Never even loaded it, just knew it was there. Dusty and forgotten like everything else in this building. The shells are in the drawer, in a box that says Made in USA like that means something. My hands are steadier now as I load them, sliding each one into the tube with a click that sounds too loud in the quiet booth. Ethan said 20 minutes. It's been 5. I've got the doors locked, front entrance, back stairs, even the bathroom window that's too small for anyone to fit through, and I'm sitting here with a shotgun and a microphone, broadcasting to whoever's left alive to listen. The phone lines light up again. I let them ring. Don't want to hear what's on the other end. Don't want to hear Mrs. Kowalski's wet breathing or Tammy's voice if she can still talk, or... I answer anyway. 4th line. WKLR. "Dale, it's me. Ethan." His voice is different now. Hollow. "I'm not coming." "What do you mean you're not coming? You said." "The roads are blocked. Cars everywhere. People." He breaks off, and I hear something crash in the background. "I can't leave the hospital. There are people here who need help. And if I leave, Dale, I need you to do something for me. Anything. I need you to keep broadcasting. Keep telling people to stay inside, stay safe. I need you to..." His voice cracks. Actually cracks, and I realize he's crying. "I need you to be the voice they hear, so they know someone's still here, still human. I'm not going anywhere." I tell him, gripping the phone so hard it hurts. "I'm right here. I'll stay as long as..." "I love you, Dale." He says it fast, like he's scared he'll lose the nerve. We don't say that. Haven't said it since we were kids, since before Dad got sick and everything got complicated. "I'm sorry I didn't call more. Sorry I wasn't here." "You're here now," I say, but the line's already dead. The power flickers at 12:47 a.m. I watch the levels on the mixing board dip, spike, settle back to normal. If we lose electricity, the backup generator should kick in. Should, assuming Dad actually maintained it like he was supposed to, but I checked the emergency battery pack anyway. 4 hours of juice maximum. 4 hours of broadcast time if everything goes to hell. When not if. Let's be honest here. I've been playing music for the last hour, punctuating it with announcements that probably nobody's hearing. This is WKLR, broadcasting from Keller's Ridge. If you're sheltering in place, stay there. Don't open your doors. Don't trust anyone who looks like they're trying to bite your face off, who's got bones sticking out at wrong angles. The playlist's running itself now, cycling through the same rotation we've used for years. Sweet Home Alabama, Born to Run, Hotel California. Songs I've heard so many times I could sing them in my sleep. Used to drive Dad crazy how predictable the format was. He wanted to mix it up, play some newer stuff, but the advertisers, all 5 of them, liked the classics. Safe, reliable, the kind of music that makes people in dying coal towns feel like maybe things aren't so bad. Phone rings. I almost don't answer, but it's line 2, the request line, and old habits die hard. WKLR, this is Dale. Dale, thank God. It's Jennifer Wu who runs the Pancake House out on Route 19. We went on 3 dates last spring, awkward dinners where I talked too much about classic rock and she was too polite to tell me to shut up. I'm in the storage freezer with my cook. We can hear them outside, in the dining room, and, are you really still broadcasting? Yeah, I'm here. What's happening? Nobody's saying anything. The emergency broadcast is just that stupid tone, and I need to know what. She stops. I hear something bang against a door, heavy and rhythmic. Dale, what do we do? Stay in the freezer. I say, like I have any idea what I'm talking about. Stay quiet. Don't open the door for anyone. For how long? I don't have an answer. The banging on her end gets louder, and then there's a sound like metal tearing, and Jennifer screaming, and the line goes dead. I sit there holding the phone, listening to the dial tone pulse in my ear. Outside, Main Street's gone from empty to something worse than empty. There are people moving around down there, but their movements are wrong. Jerky, twitching, like their bodies are trying to go in 3 directions at once. One of them looks up at my window. It's Billy Carpenter, or what's left of him. His face is slack, mouth hanging open, but his eyes are focused, intent. He tilts his head, studying the building like he's trying to figure out how to get inside. I duck below the windowsill even though I know he already saw me. Heart hammering in my chest, the Remington heavy in my hands. The music's still playing, some Eagles song about peaceful, easy feelings, and I want to laugh at the absurdity of it. Instead, I crawl to the broadcast booth and grab the mic. This is Dale Pritchard, WKLR 104.3 FM. My voice is steadier than I feel. If you're listening, if you're out there, you're not alone. I'm here. I'm staying here. I pause, trying to think of what else to say, what my brother would say if he were here instead of trapped at the hospital. Help is coming. It has to be. Just hold on. Please hold on. The door to the stairwell rattles. Once, twice, then steady, rhythmic pounding that makes the whole building shudder. I've got maybe 30 minutes before they figure out how to break through. Maybe less. The door's solid oak. Dad installed it himself back when he was worried about vandals, but it's not meant to withstand this kind of punishment. I need a plan, need to think. But all I can do is sit here playing music to an audience that might not exist anymore, pressing the mic switch every few minutes to remind whoever's listening that someone's still here, still human, still broadcasting. The pounding gets louder, more insistent. I count at least 6 distinct rhythms, 6 different sets of hands battering against the door, and I wonder if Billy's down there, if Tammy is, if everyone I've known my entire life is standing in that stairwell trying to get to me. The phone rings again. Line 6 this time. I grab it without thinking. Dale, it's Ethan. Can you see the parking lot behind the hospital? What? No, I'm why? Because there are helicopters, military. They're evacuating people, loading them into trucks. But his voice drops. They're not taking everyone, just certain people, the ones they've been testing. What tests? I don't know. They won't tell us. They just come through with clipboards and ask questions, and then some people get to go and others. He breaks off. Dale, I think they're leaving the rest of us behind. I think they're going to seal off the town. My stomach goes cold. You're saying they're just going to leave us here? With those things? I'm saying I don't know what they're doing. But if they evacuate, if they pull out, he doesn't finish. Doesn't need to. Then keep broadcasting. I tell him, let people know what's happening. Someone needs to. You should leave. Get in your truck and drive. Roads are blocked, you said so yourself. Then hide. Find somewhere safe and… I'm staying here, I interrupt. Someone needs to stay on the air. Someone needs to… I stop, trying to find the words. Someone needs to be the voice people hear when everything else goes quiet. Dad always said that. Said it was our job, our responsibility, to keep broadcasting no matter what. Ethan's quiet for a long moment. Then, he'd be proud of you. He'd say I was an idiot for not running. Yeah, that too. I can hear the smile in his voice, tired and sad. I'm going to try to make it to you, soon as I can. Ethan, I mean it. Just stay alive until I get there, okay? Stay alive and keep talking. The line goes dead before I can respond. At 2:15 a.m., the stairwell door splinters. I hear it from where I'm sitting in the broadcast booth, that sharp crack of wood giving way under sustained pressure. The pounding stops for maybe 3 seconds, long enough for me to think maybe they've given up, and then it starts again, more frantic now, the sound of hands and fists and God knows what else tearing at the gap they've created. I'm on the air. Been on continuously for the last hour, abandoning the playlist in favor of just talking. Talking about anything, everything. Memories of Dad teaching me to work the board, stories about the weird calls I've gotten over the years. Guy who swore he saw Bigfoot near the quarry. Woman who called every night for 6 months asking for Elvis songs even though we're a classic rock station, not oldies. Talking because I'm terrified of what happens when I stop. This is Dale Pritchard. I say for the 100th time, voice getting hoarse. Still broadcasting from WKLR. It's 2:17 now. Sunday morning, technically, though it doesn't feel much like morning. I glance at the window. Still dark outside, but I can see lights now. Headlights moving on the highway that runs parallel to Route 19. Military vehicles, maybe, or people trying to escape. If you're listening, if you're out there, I need you to know something. I pause, trying to organize my thoughts through the fear and exhaustion. The door's going to give way soon. 5 minutes, maybe 10. I've barricaded the second entrance to the booth with every piece of furniture I could move. The desk, the filing cabinets, the chairs, but it won't hold. Nothing's going to hold. I need you to know that you matter. I continue, finger pressed on the mic switch. I know that sounds stupid. Sounds like something you'd read on a motivational poster at the dentist's office, but I mean it. Every call I've taken tonight, every person who's reached out, you matter. You're not alone in this. The door gives way with a shriek of tearing wood. I hear footsteps on the stairs. Slow at first, then faster. Multiple sets of feet pounding up toward the second floor. I grab the Remington, check that it's loaded, and position myself behind the barricade. The mix still hot, still broadcasting. Let them hear it. Let whoever's listening hear exactly what happens when those things reach the booth. They're coming up the stairs now, I say, trying to keep my voice level. I can hear them. I'm not going to stop broadcasting. I want you to know that. Whatever happens, my voice cracks. Whatever happens, I'm still here. Still with you. The first one hits the door to the booth. It's flimsy compared to the stairwell door, just hollow core from Home Depot, and it buckles on the first impact. Second impact punches a hole through the center. I can see a hand reaching through, fingers bent at wrong angles, nails torn off. I raise the shotgun, sight down the barrel at the door. My hands are shaking so bad I can barely hold it steady. My brother Ethan's a doctor. I say into the mic, because I need to talk, need to fill the silence with something other than the sound of that door breaking apart. He's the smart one, the one who got out of this town and actually made something of himself. I stayed here because I pause, realizing I'm crying. When did I start crying? I stayed because Dad needed help with the station, because someone had to keep it running, because I was scared of leaving, scared I wouldn't make it anywhere else. The door breaks, splinters inward. The barricade holds for maybe 2 seconds before they start pushing through, shoving the desk aside with inhuman strength. Billy Carpenter comes through first. His shirt's completely gone now, and I can see his ribcage, bones visible through torn flesh. His jaws dislocated, hanging open at an angle that makes him look like he's screaming even though no sound comes out. I fire. The blast catches him in the chest, throws him backward into the ones behind him. The noise in the enclosed space is deafening, makes my ears ring, but I pump the action and fire again, aiming at the doorway where more of them are trying to push through. There in the booth, I gasp into the mic, fumbling with the shotgun as I back toward the window. I'm sorry. I tried to. One of them gets past the barricade. It's Tammy. Chad's Tammy, who I dated junior year, whose laugh used to make me feel like maybe I wasn't such a failure. Her eyes are still blue, still beautiful, but her mouth's full of broken teeth and her hands. She lunges at me. I swing the Remington like a club, catch her in the side of the head, and she goes down. Doesn't stay down, though. None of them stay down. They just keep coming, crawling over each other, pressing into the small space of the booth. I fire twice more. The shotgun clicks empty. I'm backed against the window now, nowhere left to go, and there are 5 of them between me and the door, between me and any chance of escape. The mix on the floor, knocked loose during the struggle. I can hear it hissing, picking up the sounds of wet breathing and shuffling feet. I look at the window, 2nd floor, maybe a 15-foot drop to the pavement below. Maybe I break both legs. Maybe I don't. Either way, it's better than... One of them grabs my arm. Billy, somehow still moving despite the hole in his chest. His grip is cold, fingers digging in with bruising force, and I can smell him, rot and copper and something sharp like ammonia. I do the only thing I can think of. I throw myself backward through the window. Glass explodes around me. Then I'm falling. That sick, weightless moment where your stomach drops and everything slows down. I see the street rushing up, see my truck parked below. I hit the truck bed, land hard on my back, and something in my ribs makes a sound like celery snapping. Pain shoots through my entire body, white hot and nauseating, and for a moment I can't breathe, can't move, can just lie there staring up at the broken window and the shapes moving behind it. Move, I tell myself. Get up. But my body won't cooperate. Everything hurts, everything's broken or bleeding or both, and when I try to roll over, I almost black out from the pain. The shapes are climbing through the window. Billy first, not even bothering with the glass, just throwing himself through like gravity doesn't apply to him anymore. He lands on the pavement, bones breaking with audible cracks, and then he's standing up like nothing happened. I force myself to move, roll off the truck bed, another explosion of pain that makes me scream, and stumble toward the driver's door. Keys. Where are my keys? Front pocket. No, back pocket. Jesus Christ, come on. Billy's on me before I can get the door open. Slams into me from behind, drives me against the side of the truck, and I feel his teeth scrape against the back of my neck. I throw an elbow back, catch him somewhere soft, and he loosens his grip just enough for me to spin around. We go down together. hit the pavement hard, and I'm on my back with Billy on top of me, his broken jaw snapping inches from my face. I've got both hands on his throat, trying to keep him back, but he's strong, impossibly strong, and my grip's weakening. This is it, I think. This is how it ends. In a parking lot outside my own radio station, killed by Billy Carpenter, who used to give me free coffee when I'd stop at the Speedway. Then I hear the engine, truck engine, loud and getting closer, and there's a squeal of tires, and suddenly Billy's gone, torn away from me. I roll over in time to see a black Ford pickup, Ethan's truck. I recognize the vanity plate he got when he graduated med school. Slam into Billy's body, sending him flying across the parking lot. The truck screeches to a stop. Driver's door opens and Ethan's there, looking like hell. Blood on his scrubs, dark circles under his eyes, but alive. He's alive. "Get in," he shouts. I don't need to be told twice. Somehow I get myself up, stumble around to the passenger side, haul myself into the seat. Everything hurts. Everything's bleeding. But I'm alive. Ethan guns the engine, wheel spinning on the asphalt, and we're moving. Away from the station. Away from the things pouring out of the broken window. Away from everything I've known for 46 years. The hospital? I managed through gritted teeth. Overrun. They evacuated an hour ago. Took the valuable assets and left the rest of us. His voice is flat. Dead. I barely made it out. Where are we going? I don't know. He takes a corner too fast, almost loses control, corrects. Somewhere. Anywhere. Just away. I look back at the station as we speed down Main Street. The Coca-Cola clock's still visible in the window, glowing red in the darkness. 11:53 it said when this all started. Now it's what? 2:30? 2:45? Feels like years have passed. The broadcast is still going. I can see the antenna lights blinking on the roof, red warning strobes that pulse once per second. Someone's going to hear it. The dead air, the sound of glass breaking, my screaming as I went through the window. But maybe that's okay. Maybe that's enough. Proof that someone was there. Someone tried. I'm sorry, Ethan says quietly. I should have gotten there sooner. You came, I tell him. That's what matters. We drive in silence for a while, heading north on Route 19. The road's empty. No military vehicles, no evacuating civilians. Just us and the darkness and the occasional burning building lighting up the night. My ribs hurt every time I breathe. Pretty sure at least 2 are broken, maybe more. My hands are cut to shreds from the glass, and there's blood soaking through my shirt from somewhere I can't identify. But I'm alive. We're both alive. That has to count for something. We make it maybe 12 miles before we hit the checkpoint. Military trucks blocking the road, concrete barriers funneling traffic into a single lane. Soldiers in hazmat suits carrying rifles that look too big for the situation. Lights everywhere, portable floodlights that turn night into artificial day. Ethan slows down, stops when a soldier holds up his hand. I can see the hesitation in my brother's posture, the way his hands grip the steering wheel too tight. He's thinking about running, I can tell. Don't, I say. They'll shoot us. They might anyway. But he puts the truck in park and rolls down the window. The soldier approaches. Young kid, maybe 22, with corporal stripes on his sleeve and eyes that have seen too much in too short a time. He shines a flashlight into the cab, studying us. Where are you coming from? He asks. Keller's Ridge, Ethan says. I'm a doctor. I was at the hospital when... Were you bitten? Either of you? No. But my brother's hurt. He needs medical attention. Out of the vehicle. Both of you. Hands where I can see them. We comply. I move slowly, every motion sending fresh waves of pain through my broken ribs. The corporal calls over 2 more soldiers, and they pat us down, check for bites, examine every cut and scrape with gloved hands. "He's clean," one of them says, gesturing at Ethan. "This one's got lacerations, possible internal injuries. No bite marks visible." "I went through a window," I explain, "at the radio station. They were coming up the stairs and I—" "The radio station," the corporal interrupts. "WKLR. Yeah, I'm the DJ, the late-night guy. I was broadcasting when—" Something changes in his expression. He exchanges a glance with the other soldiers. "You're Dale Pritchard." It's not a question. I nod anyway. "We heard your broadcast," he says. "Been listening for the last hour. Command's been trying to figure out where you were, if you were still alive." He pauses. "You kept a lot of people calm tonight. Kept them from panicking, making stupid mistakes. Saved lives." I don't know what to say to that. Doesn't feel like I saved anyone. Feels like I watched everything fall apart and kept talking because I didn't know what else to do. "Come with me," the corporal says. "Both of you. We need to debrief you, get statements about what you saw, and get him medical attention," he adds, nodding at me. They load us into a transport truck. The back's already crowded with survivors. I recognize some faces from town, others I've never seen before. Everyone looks shell-shocked, moving through the motions without really being present. Ethan sits next to me, close enough that our shoulders touch. He hasn't said anything since the checkpoint, just stares straight ahead with that same dead expression. "Hey," I say quietly, "we made it. We're okay." "Are we?" He doesn't look at me. "I left people behind, Dale. At the hospital. Patients who couldn't walk, staff who were trying to help. I ran. I got in my truck and I ran. You came back for me. One person. I saved one person." His voice cracks. "There were 50 people in that hospital. 50. And I saved one." I don't have an answer for that. Don't have anything comforting to say. No words that'll make it better. So I just sit there, shoulder pressed against his, and let him have his guilt. The truck starts moving, takes us north, away from Keller's Ridge, away from everything that used to be home. I watch through the back opening as the lights fade, as the town disappears into darkness. The Coca-Cola clock's probably still running, still glowing red in the window of the broadcast booth, still marking time in a place where time doesn't matter anymore. The quarantine camp is in an old state fairground, 2 hours north of Keller's Ridge. They've got tents set up, portable toilets, a mess hall operating out of the livestock pavilion. Everything smells like disinfectant and fear. They separate us almost immediately, put me in the medical tent. Fractured ribs, lacerations requiring stitches, possible concussion. While Ethan gets debriefed by someone in a hazmat suit who asks him the same questions over and over. "What did you see? When did it start? How many were infected?" I lose track of him after that. The camp's too big, too chaotic, and I'm stuck in a cot with my ribs taped up and an M4 in my arm pumping antibiotics. The nurse, older woman with kind eyes and steady hands, tells me I'm lucky, that most people who got close enough to the infected didn't make it out. I don't feel lucky. 3 days pass, maybe 4. Time gets strange when you're recovering from trauma and painkillers. I sleep in fits and starts, waking up with my heart racing, convinced I can hear them coming up the stairs. The sound of splintering wood. Billy's broken jaw snapping. On the 5th day, I think it's the 5th, Ethan finds me. He looks worse than before. More weight lost, more shadows under his eyes. But he's not wearing his bloody scrubs anymore, and someone's given him a shower and clean clothes, and that's something. "Hey," he says, pulling up a chair next to my cot. "Hey yourself." We sit in silence for a while. Around us, the medical tent hums with activity. Nurses checking vitals, doctors consulting over clipboards, a kid crying somewhere in the back. Normal sounds, almost if you ignore where we are and why. They're not letting anyone go back, Ethan says finally. To Keller's Ridge. They've got the whole area sealed off. Fences, armed patrols, the works. What about survivors? There aren't any. Not according to the military. He pauses. They're saying the infection spread too fast. That by dawn on Sunday morning, the whole town was compromised. I think about Jennifer Wu, trapped in her freezer. About Mrs. Kowalski on the phone, screaming about Jerry. About all the calls I took that night, all the people who reached out hoping I could tell them what to do, how to stay safe. I kept broadcasting, I say. Even after they got into the booth, even after I went through the window, the station was still on air. I know. I heard it. Ethan looks at me, and there's something in his expression I can't quite read. They played it for us. During the debriefing, wanted to know if we could identify any of the voices, any of the sounds, if there was anything useful. Was there? No. His voice is flat. Just you trying to keep people calm while everything fell apart. Just you doing what Dad would have done. I don't know what to say to that. Don't know if it's a compliment or an accusation or just a statement of fact. I'm sorry I wasn't there more, Ethan says suddenly. After I moved away, after I got married and bought the house, I should have visited more. Should have helped with the station, with Dad, with everything. You had your own life. So did you, but you gave it up to stay, to keep broadcasting. He reaches over, squeezes my shoulder. I'm glad you're alive, Dale. I'm glad I got there in time. Me too. We sit there for a while longer, not talking, just being present. Brothers who haven't been close in years, brought back together by catastrophe. It's not enough. Won't fix the distance that grew between us. Won't erase all the missed calls and forgotten birthdays and things we should have said but didn't. But it's something. A start. The nurse comes by, checks my vitals, tells Ethan he needs to let me rest. He nods, stands up, but hesitates at the entrance to the tent. They want to talk to you, he says. The military. About the broadcast. About what you said that night. What about it? They want you to do it again. He turns back to face me. They're setting up a new station, broadcasting from the camp, giving people information, keeping them calm. They need someone who knows how to do it. Someone people will trust. I stare at him. You're serious. Dead serious. He almost laughs at his own word choice, catches himself. They said your voice, the way you kept talking that night, kept people grounded. It made a difference. They want to use that. Use you. I'm not military. I'm just a guy who spent 23 years doing the graveyard shift. Ethan finishes. Yeah, that's exactly what they need. They set me up in a trailer 2 weeks later, after my ribs heal enough that I can sit upright without wanting to scream. The equipment's newer than what I had at WKLR, digital board instead of analog, computer instead of CDs, but the basics are the same. Microphone, mixing console, a voice going out into the dark. The call sign's different. FEMA, which is about as uninspiring as it gets, but nobody asked me. I'm just the talent, the guy who sits here from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Same shift I always worked, and talks to whoever's listening. Except now the audience isn't just insomniacs and truckers. It's survivors, thousands of them, scattered across evacuation zones and quarantine camps, listening on emergency radios the military distributed. People who lost everything. People who watched their families turn into something else. People who need someone to tell them they're not alone. I do my best. This is Dale Pritchard. I say into the mic, same introduction I've used for 23 years. Broadcasting from Evacuation Zone 7. It's 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday night, and if you're out there listening, you're not alone. I'm here. We're all here together. The format's different now. No music. They won't let me play anything that might be triggering. which apparently includes most of classic rock. Instead, I take calls, read announcements about supply, distribution, and medical services, interview survivors who have stories to share, advice about staying safe in the new normal we're all learning to navigate. It's not the same, will never be the same, but it's something, purpose, a reason to keep going when everything I knew is gone. Ethan visits sometimes between his shifts at the camp hospital. We don't talk about that night much. Don't need to. We both carry it with us. The weight of who we couldn't save, the guilt of still being alive, the knowledge that we'll never go home again. The phone lines light up. I pick up line 2. FEMA, this is Dale. Dale. It's a woman's voice, unfamiliar, shaking. I'm in zone 3. My daughter, she's showing symptoms. Fever, aggression, and I don't know what to do. I don't know if it's the infection or just the flu or... Where are you exactly? I keep my voice calm, professional. Which tent? She tells me. I write it down, flag it for the medical team monitoring the broadcast. They'll send someone. Maybe in time, maybe not. That's not my job. My job is to keep her talking, keep her from doing something desperate. What's your daughter's name? Ask. Lucy. She's 7. The woman's crying now, trying to muffle it. She's so scared. Keeps asking when we can go home, and I don't know what to tell her. Tell her she's brave, I say, thinking about all the kids I've talked to over the weeks, all the families torn apart trying to hold together. Tell her that being scared is okay, that her mom's taking care of her, that people are coming to help. We talk for 10 more minutes, until the medical team arrives, until I hear voices in the background asking questions, taking Lucy away for testing. The woman thanks me before she hangs up, says my voice helped, says it made her feel less alone. I don't know if Lucy has the infection, don't know if she'll make it, but I did what I could, same as always. The shift continues. More calls, more announcements, more stories from people trying to survive. At 2:15 a.m., I take a break, step outside the trailer to stretch my legs. The fairground's quieter at night, most people asleep in their tents, but there are always a few walking around. Insomniacs like me, people too haunted to rest. I see the lights of Keller's Ridge from here, or where Keller's Ridge used to be, 40 miles south, behind fences and military patrols. They keep the lights on, someone told me. Some kind of deterrent, make the infected think there are still people there. I don't know if that's true or just rumor. Don't know if I want it to be true. The Coca-Cola clock's probably still running, still glowing red in that broken window, marking time that doesn't matter anymore. Still keeping a vigil over an empty town full of things that used to be people. I go back inside, back to the microphone, the mixing board, the voice going out into the dark. Back to doing the only thing I know how to do. This is Dale Pritchard, I say, pressing the mic switch. Still here, still broadcasting. You're not alone. And somewhere out there, in tents and trailers and evacuation zones, people are listening, hearing a familiar voice in the darkness, knowing that someone's still there, still human, still trying. It's not enough. Will never be enough to make up for everyone we lost, everything that's gone. But it's what I have, what I can give. So I keep talking, keep broadcasting, keep being the voice people hear when everything else goes quiet. Same as I always have. Same as I always will. The phone lines light up again, all 6 of them, and I reach for line 1, ready to listen, ready to help however I can, ready to keep going until the power fails or I do, whichever comes first. FEMA, this is Dale. Dale, thank God. It's a man's voice this time, hoarse with exhaustion. I'm in zone 5. There's something happening here, something wrong with the perimeter fence, and... Take a breath, I tell him, already flagging it for security. Tell me exactly what you're seeing. He does. I listen. I document. I stay calm so he can stay calm. I do my job. Because that's what I am. What I've always been. The voice in the darkness. The constant signal when everything else is static. The proof that someone's still there, still human, still broadcasting. And I'll keep doing it until there's nobody left to hear me. Or until I become one of the things that can't hear anymore. Whichever comes first. Outside, the Coca-Cola clock's probably still ticking, still glowing, still keeping time in a place where time doesn't matter. But here, now, in this trailer with this microphone, time matters. Every second I'm on air is another second someone out there isn't alone, isn't forgotten, isn't abandoned to the dark. So I keep broadcasting. Same as always. Same as forever. This is Dale Pritchard, FEMA. You're not alone. I'm here. We're all here together. The mic switch under my finger. The levels dancing on the board. The voice going out into the night. Still here, human and broadcasting.